Hi, and welcome to Category Management Knowledge Group's weekly Category Management Tip. If you don't know about CMKG, we provide category management training solutions that are driven from a foundation of accredited e-learning courses. I'm Sue Nichols, the president and owner of Category Management Knowledge Group. I love everything about category management, and every week I share with you some of my learnings on category management related topics. This week's tip relates to all commodity volume, what it is, and why it's so important to understand it as a benchmark for both retailers and suppliers. First, I need to confirm what I mean by ACV. Simply put, it's a sum of all of the category sales in the store. The categories that are included in the ACV definition depend on the channel composition. ACV data can be attained from two different data sources. First, through Nielsen or IRI syndicated data. This data only includes the retailers and channels that share their data, and it doesn't necessarily reflect alternate channels or the total market. This data is usually only available for retailers and may be referred to as all sales data. The second source is through panel data, available once again through IRI or Nielsen data, or some other third-party panel data source. This data normally includes all retailers within a market, including alternate channels that may not be captured through the syndicated data. I'm going to walk you through and explain in a small example how ACV is derived and why you need to be careful with how you interpret the numbers. We're going to start with the all sales calculation. Here's a table that shows all of the categories sold in the universe down the left-hand side. And here's my universe. It's all of the retailers in the total market across the top. You can see the volume that each retailer sold for each category. For example, grocery number 1 sold $100 in food number 1 category. Grocery number 2 sold $150, and so on. There's a total market volume for each category on the far right-hand side. So the total food number 1 category sold $340 in the market. And then we have the all sales volume for each retailer on the bottom. So grocery number 1 retailer sold an all sales volume, or ACV volume, of $475. Remember, this is just an example, so I'm showing a much smaller number of categories and retailers just for simplicity. If you look across the retailers, you can see that for the drug, club, and hardware retailers, they don't compete in all of the categories that the grocery retailers do. And it's really important that you note that. So then, based on the dollar sales, I can now calculate the market shares by category for each retailer, which is the category sales for each retailer divided by the total market category sales. So grocery number 1's retail market share in food number 1 category is 29.4, so they sell 29.4% of the total market category sales. The all sales share is the sum of all of the retailers' category sales divided by the sum of all of the market's category sales. So in this example, grocery retailer number 1 does 21.7% of the all category or ACV sales. If you only compared the category market shares across all the categories, you may think that HABA and paper are the biggest opportunities to build share for grocery retailer number 1, because these categories have market shares that are lower than the retailer's all sales share of 21.7, and that the food categories are highly developed because they have shares that are higher than the 21.7. But these low shares are actually driven by the fact that there are other channels that are carrying HABA and paper, but they're carrying limited food categories. So that interpretation is not correct. The last calculation is the index versus ACV, which is the category share by retailer divided by their all sales share. For example, in food number 1 category for grocery number 1, their food number 1 share of 29.4 divided by their ACV sales share of 21.7 multiplied by 100 equals a 135 index versus ACV. The index versus ACV number in isolation would make you think that the drug retailer is highly underdeveloped in the food categories, hardware is highly developed in paper, and club is highly developed in the HABA categories because these numbers are so high relative to that 100 kind of middle ground for index. But this isn't the case. The index is driven by the categories that they do or don't carry. If you want to further understand how to correctly interpret these index versus ACV numbers, make sure that you go and watch my video that I did last week on index and interpreting index. If you're interested in learning more about using ACV, we have some courses available in our e-learning center for you to review. The category assessment walks you through an in-depth index versus all sales share analysis, as well as a market assessment. And understanding and using data gives you an in-depth understanding of key category management data sources and how they're derived and used. So that's it for this week's tip. Next week's session is going to show you how to create a compelling bubble chart in Excel. If you haven't already done so, you can subscribe to my blog, and every week you'll get the YouTube video right in your email. If you're interested in category management training, please visit our website. We have topics that will help you to fill in some of the gaps if you didn't understand all of the examples that I showed you today. And finally, we're very active in LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, so please connect with us. I hope you enjoyed today's tip. Have a great day.